Many seniors take vitamin D every single day believing they are protecting their bones, their immunity, and even their heart. Doctors recommend it. Bottles promise strength and longevity. Friends swear by it. But what almost no one explains clearly is that the way vitamin D is taken can quietly shift from helpful to harmful, especially after 60. This is not about fear, and it's not about stopping vitamin D altogether. It's about understanding a mistake that looks harmless on the surface but can slowly worsen heart stress over time. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Vitamin D is not just a vitamin, it acts more like a hormone in the body. That means timing, dose, balance with other nutrients, and your individual health state matter far more than most seniors are told. When vitamin D is taken the wrong way, especially in high or poorly timed doses, it can disrupt calcium handling in the blood. And calcium, when mismanaged, does not only affect bones. It affects arteries, heart rhythm, and blood pressure. Many seniors are told a simple message: your vitamin D is low, so take more. What is rarely discussed is what happens next. Vitamin D increases calcium absorption from the gut. If the body cannot properly direct that calcium into bones, it has to go somewhere else. Over time, excess circulating calcium can contribute to arterial stiffness, placation, and increased workload on the heart. This does not happen overnight. It happens silently, slowly, and often without obvious symptoms until damage has already progressed. This is why some seniors are shocked when their heart scans show calcified arteries even though they did everything right. They took supplements, followed instructions, and trusted the system. But the system often treats vitamin D in isolation, instead of as part of a ignoring those factors is where the problem begins. Another common mistake is taking vitamin D at the wrong time of day. Many seniors take it at night, often with other medications. Vitamin D influences circadian rhythms and hormone signaling. Taken late, it can subtly interfere with sleep quality, increase nighttime calcium release into the bloodstream, and worsen nocturnal blood pressure patterns. Poor sleep alone increases cardiovascular risk. Combine that with altered mineral balance, and the heart never truly gets a chance to rest. Then there is the issue of mega-dosing. High-dose vitamin D capsules taken weekly or monthly are often prescribed for convenience. While they can raise blood levels quickly, they also create spikes that the body struggles to regulate smoothly, especially in older adults with slower metabolism and reduced kidney efficiency. These spikes may temporarily raise calcium levels and increase vascular tension. Over time, repeated spikes can do more harm than steady, moderate intake ever would. The most dangerous part is that routine blood tests often fail to tell the full story. A normal vitamin D level does not guarantee safety. It does not show how calcium is being distributed, whether magnesium is depleted, or whether arteries are stiffening silently. Seniors may be reassured by numbers while the underlying imbalance continues unnoticed. This is why heart damage linked to vitamin D misuse is rarely blamed on the supplement itself. It shows up as high blood pressure that won't improve, worsening arterial scans, irregular heartbeat, or unexplained fatigue. Vitamin D remains in the background, unquestioned. But for some seniors, adjusting how it is taken becomes a turning point. None of this means vitamin D is bad. It means it is powerful. And powerful tools require precision, not guesswork. Seniors deserve more than blanket advice. They deserve to understand how their bodies change with age and how supplements interact with that reality. In the next section, we will break down the most common vitamin D mistakes seniors make, why doctors often miss them, and how these errors quietly increase heart strain over time. Once you see these patterns, you may recognize them in your own routine. If you look closely at how most seniors are told to take vitamin D, a pattern emerges. The advice is usually simple, rushed, and incomplete. Take this dose. Take it daily. Recheck labs in a few months. What's missing is context. Aging changes how the body processes nutrients, how organs communicate, and how stress accumulates in the cardiovascular system. Vitamin D mistakes don't cause dramatic reactions. They cause slow shifts that compound quietly, which is why they are so dangerous. One of the most common errors is ignoring magnesium entirely. Vitamin D cannot function properly without magnesium. Every step of vitamin D activation in the liver and kidneys depends on it. Yet many seniors are already magnesium deficient due to medications, reduced absorption, and dietary changes. When vitamin D intake rises but magnesium remains low, the body struggles to regulate calcium properly. This imbalance increases muscle tension in blood vessels, raises blood pressure, and can trigger heart rhythm disturbances. Seniors may feel more tense, more fatigued, or experience palpitations without realizing the connection. Another mistake is assuming that more vitamin D automatically means better heart protection. This belief is reinforced by headlines and simplified messaging. But the relationship between vitamin D and cardiovascular health is not linear. Beyond that, risks can increase, especially when cofactors are missing. Seniors often continue increasing doses because they hear that deficiency is common, not realizing that overshooting the optimal range can create new problems. Doctors often miss this because guidelines focus on preventing deficiency, not optimizing balance. A level that avoids bone disease may still be inappropriate for a senior with kidney issues, vascular stiffness, or long-standing hypertension. The heart and arteries respond differently than bones. Calcium handling becomes more delicate with age, and vitamin D amplifies whatever system it interacts with. If the system is already strained, the amplification can work against the heart. Timing errors also deserve attention. Many seniors take vitamin D with their largest meal, often dinner. This improves absorption, but it can interfere with evening hormonal signals. Vitamin D influences melatonin and cortisol rhythms indirectly. When taken late, it may blunt nighttime blood pressure dipping, a natural and essential process where pressure falls during sleep. Seniors who lose this dipping pattern face higher risks of stroke and heart failure. They may sleep through the night yet wake feeling unrest, with morning blood pressure readings that are stubbornly high. Another overlooked issue is form and consistency. Liquid drops, soft gels, tablets, and prescription megadoses all behave differently in the body. Seniors often switch brands or forms without realizing they are changing absorption rates. Inconsistent intake leads to fluctuating blood levels, which stresses regulatory systems. The heart thrives on stability. Sudden rises and falls in calcium-related hormones can increase vascular reactivity and stiffness over time. Then there is vitamin K2, which many seniors have never heard of. Without K2, calcium absorbed under the influence of vitamin D lacks proper guidance. K2 activates proteins that direct calcium into bones and away from arteries. Without it, calcium may deposit in places where it does not belong. Arterial calcification is not just a structural issue. It changes how blood vessels respond to pressure, forcing the heart to work harder with every beat. This process is gradual and painless, which is why it is so often discovered late. What makes these mistakes especially dangerous is that they stack. A senior may take high-dose vitamin D, lack magnesium, skip K2, take it at night, and rely on reassuring lab results. Each factor alone may cause only subtle stress. Together, they create a perfect environment for silent cardiovascular damage. Blood pressure creeps up. Medications are added. Fatigue increases. The supplement remains unquestioned. Contrast this with what happens when vitamin D is taken thoughtfully. When dose, timing, cofactors, and individual health are aligned, vitamin D can support vascular flexibility, improve endothelial function, and reduce inflammatory stress on the heart. The difference is not the vitamin itself. It is the way it is used. In the next section, we will pull everything together. You'll see what a heart-safe vitamin D approach looks like for seniors, how to recognize warning signs that your current routine may be doing harm, and how small changes can dramatically shift cardiovascular risk over time. At this point, the picture should be clear. Vitamin D itself is not the villain. The danger comes from treating it as a simple pill instead of a powerful regulator in an aging body. For seniors, the heart is often the first place where imbalance shows up, even when lab numbers look acceptable. The goal is not to chase high vitamin D levels or copy what younger people do. The goal is harmony, consistency, and respect for how the body changes with time. A heart-safe approach to vitamin D starts with awareness. Seniors should pay attention not just to what they take, but how they feel over weeks and months. Rising blood pressure that no longer responds to medication, new sleep disturbances, increased anxiety, muscle tightness, or irregular heartbeats are signals worth taking seriously. These are not always signs of disease progression. Sometimes they are signs that something meant to help is quietly adding stress. One of the most important shifts is moving away from extreme dosing strategies. For most seniors, steady moderate intake is safer than large weekly or monthly doses. The body prefers consistency. Smaller daily amounts allow calcium and vitamin D signaling to remain smooth instead of spiking. This reduces stress on blood vessels and kidneys, organs that already work harder with age. Seniors should be cautious of any plan that promises rapid correction without considering long-term balance. Equally important is pairing vitamin D with the nutrients that allow it to function safely. Magnesium deserves special attention. Without adequate magnesium, vitamin D activation becomes inefficient and calcium regulation suffers. Many seniors benefit from ensuring magnesium intake through diet or supplements, especially if they take blood pressure medications or diuretics. This alone can improve vascular relaxation and reduce heart strain. Vitamin K2 is another piece that changes the equation. When present, it helps ensure calcium strengthens bones instead of hardening arteries. Seniors with existing cardiovascular risk may benefit most from this pairing. While not every doctor emphasizes K2 yet, awareness is growing, and many cardiologists now acknowledge its role in arterial health. Seniors should feel empowered to ask informed questions rather than assume supplements are harmless by default. Timing also matters more than most people realize. Taking vitamin D earlier in the day, aligned with natural light exposure, may better support circadian balance for many seniors. This supports healthy blood pressure rhythms and deeper restorative sleep. Quality sleep is not a luxury for the heart. It is a necessity. When nighttime blood pressure fails to drop, cardiovascular risk rises sharply over time. Monitoring should go beyond a single lab value. Vitamin D levels are only one piece of the puzzle. Calcium levels, kidney function, blood pressure patterns, and overall symptoms tell a more complete story. Seniors should not be reassured by numbers alone if they feel worse or see cardiovascular markers trending in the wrong direction. Data without context can be misleading. Perhaps the most empowering realization is that small adjustments can produce meaningful change. Seniors often believe heart health is out of their hands once medications begin. In reality, refining supplement habits, improving nutrient balance, and respecting timing can reduce strain on the heart and sometimes improve response. Seniors deserve clearer guidance because their margin for error is smaller. What a younger body compensates for easily can burden an older cardiovascular system silently. If there is one takeaway, it is this: never assume that more, or standard advice, automatically means safer. Especially after 60, personalization matters. Paying attention, asking questions, and adjusting thoughtfully can protect the heart in ways no single pill ever could. When vitamin D is taken with respect for timing, balance, and individual health, it can remain a supportive ally rather than an invisible stressor. The difference lies not in fear, but in understanding.